Hello, everybody, and welcome to a tropical update here. This is, of course, my first tropical update in a few days here. I apologize for my little short absence here and tropical updates here. I had some life things to attend to, and unfortunately, they were out of my control. But anyways, this is a wide view of the Atlantic right now, and you can see what's currently going on right now. We have now Hurricane Paulette currently going on in the open Atlantic, forecast to threaten and either come really very close to, perhaps make a landfall over the island of Bermuda. Then to the east of that, you may not be able to tell, but right to the east of that, we have Tropical Depression Rene, currently going on, forecast to gradually weaken and then eventually dissipate. Within the next few days here out in the open Atlantic, fortunately threatening nobody at this point in time except any boaters. We also have Tropical Depression 20L that also just recently formed earlier today. And then to the east of that, we have 97L that also formed earlier today, or was designated earlier today, I should also say. To the west of that, we have also newly formed Tropical Storm Sally, currently going on in the Gulf of Mexico right now. And then to the far east off your screen, they have a tropical depression that just formed in the Eastern Pacific that I'll briefly touch on a little bit here. But first off, let's start off with the wide view of the Atlantic here on the National Hurricane Center page. You can see Sally, we got Paulette, we got Renee, and then we got Tropical Depression 20 currently going on right now. And I can see these are all the forecast headers for each respective storm here. Let's start off with of course, probably the strongest storm at this point in time worldwide, Hurricane Paulette, currently going on. And you can see what it's currently doing on this forecast cone. They have hurricane warnings in effect for all of Bermuda there, of course. Paulette is forecast to intensify and peak as a 110 mile per hour Category 2 hurricane, which is the highest you could possibly get category wise for a Category 2 hurricane before you get into major hurricane territory, which is 115 mile per hour winds or greater storm. So right now we got Hurricane Paulette currently going on as of Saturday, September 12th, 2020. The Olympian Atlantic Standard Time Advisory 25. Central location is at 28.9 degrees north, 59.7 degrees west, with maximum sustained 1-minute winds estimated to be at 75 miles per hour. And movement is to the west-northwest at 14 miles per hour. The reconnaissance plane went into the storm earlier and found a minimum pressure of down to 982 millibars, and I think the highest flight level, not flight level, but I believe the highest SFMR was like I think 60 knots or 55 knots, give or take, but the highest flight level was a little bit higher than that. So I'm assuming the National Hurricane Center went with that estimate instead. But again, this is the latest forecast cone for Hurricane Paul, and again, at this point in time, poses really only a threat to the island of Bermuda. They need to be taking a storm seriously here, like they have with the past storms. This is not their first hurricane here. They've been through many hurricanes before this, and to my understanding, most of the buildings there are built to withstand hurricanes on the same caliber Paulette is forecast to be when it either comes really close to or perhaps making a landfall over the island of Bermuda. Here's a look at the infrared imagery for Hurricane Paulette right now, and you can see what the storm currently looks like right now, trying to form an eye feature right now on satellite imagery, it seems now. The storm fought, I think it was 40 or 50 knot wind shear about 1 or 2 days ago, and it fought it, and it won the battle with the wind shear. Now, since it's heading into a more favorable environment here for intensification, that's now why the National Hurricane Center is forecasting this to peak as a high-end Category 2 hurricane. Though, of course, I personally wouldn't rule out a major hurricane perhaps forming from Hurricane Paulette. And keep in mind, I'm not an official meteorologist by any means. This is a hobby of mine, and this is what I like to do here occasionally. But you can see how the storm's currently looking like right now. Of course, like I said earlier, looks like it's trying to form in the last few frames an eye-like feature here, and we'll see what it looks like tomorrow, and to see if that improves or still remains roughly the same here tomorrow. And here's a quick look at Tropical Depression Rene out in the open Atlantic, again posing really no threat to anybody except any boaters that are in the area of this storm. You can see at 30 mile per hour winds located at 25.3 degrees north, 46.4 degrees west, moving to the northwest at 13 miles per hour. And not really much more to say on this. Of course, you can stop the video right now and read this if you want to. All this good information. And then here's a look at the infrared imagery of Tropical Depression Rene, and you can see why they downgraded Rene back down to a tropical depression. and not really looking too good here on satellite imagery here. Even though it was in really good conditions earlier, now it's forecast to go into more unfavorable conditions if than it may have encountered earlier. Um, so yeah, so that's tropical depression Rene, and like I said, I meant to say it's heading into more unfavorable conditions than it is right now. It's in relatively favorable conditions, but like I said, it's forecast to head into pretty unfavorable conditions shortly here over the coming hours, a day or two here. And here's a look at the big storm right now in terms of the United States impacts. I would say is Tropical Storm Sally that formed earlier this morning. As you can see, as of Saturday, September 12th, 2020, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Advisory number 6. The center is currently located at 26.3 degrees north, 82.9 degrees west, with maximum sustained 1-minute winds at 40 miles per hour, moving to the west northwest at 8 miles per hour here. And you can see they forecast to become a Category 1 hurricane on approach to either the Mississippi or Louisiana coastline, perhaps making a landfall in either two states of the United States here. As you can see, going off of the center line of the cone. Of course, the storm could easily go a little bit more east of this cone or a little bit more west of this cone, so please keep an eye on this storm over the coming days if you live in this general region of the Gulf Coast. Just keep a close eye on it here as it poses a threat to the Gulf of Mexico here. And you can see, of course, there's hurricane watches in effect from parts of eastern Louisiana, southeastern Louisiana to pretty much all of the coastline of Alabama there. Hurricane watches are in effect, and of course, tropical storm watches are in effect for parts of the panhandle of Florida there, as you can see. And let's go ahead and quickly look at the forecast discussion here. And you can, of course, stop the video right now and read this if you want to. But you can see they forecast Sally to peak as an 85-mile-per-hour Category 1 hurricane. So not a storm to take lightly whatsoever here, especially given the fact it's forecast to slow down a little bit at landfall here, unfortunately. It's not going to be really a cut and dry type forecast path here. It's forecast to, like I said, to, slow down a little bit as it approaches landfall. Either going off the center line, that is, either making a landfall somewhere in southeastern Louisiana or in Mississippi, there as a looks like a Category 1 hurricane. So a storm to take seriously here. Let's go ahead and look at the key messages for this storm. And you can stop the video right now and read this crucial information if you want to right now. Stop the video right now and read all this. And then same for the Spanish version. You can stop the video right now and read this if you want to. And here's the rainfall potential for Tropical Storm Sally. Peak estimates up to about 20 inches or so. Looks like on the part just off the coast of the mainland Louisiana there, as you can see. So a storm to take seriously here in terms of its wind threat and its storm surge threat, and also its rain threat as it starts to slow down before making landfall, unfortunately. And let's go ahead and look at the peak surge graphic, and you can see here, peak surge is estimated to be about 6 to 9 feet of inundation in parts of Louisiana here, and you can see below this, they have crucial information below this graphic as well to keep you and your property safe to the best of your ability. And they can stop the video right now, of course, and look at all these different estimates here if you want to, if any of these pertain to you or any of your friends or family in the area of this storm here. And here's a look at Tropical Storm Sally on infrared imagery right now, and you can see just how fairly well organized it is. It's amazing the generation of this storm. It went from a little tropical wave to a tropical depression yesterday, I believe, and then now, of course, is a tropical storm and forecast to become a hurricane as it tracks on up to the Gulf Coast here, unfortunately, as a slowing down hurricane making landfall, going off the center line of the forecast cone, either Mississippi or Louisiana here as a potent Category 1 hurricane. And you can see in the satellite imagery here, it's been bursting up some more convection around the center of circulation here, so that's going to do nothing but aid this storm in its intensification phase up into the Gulf of Mexico, pretty much probably up until landfall here. There's pretty much nothing much in the way of this storm to hinder it, really, except land in itself, really, is the only things that can hinder the storm at this point in time, unfortunately. At least from what I've seen so far. Again, I'm not an official meteorologist by any means, This is just a hobby of mine, and take my opinions as you will, and of course use official information for the best information on these storms here. And here's a quick look at Tropical Depression 16E. Of course, not going to talk much about it. Poses really no threat to any land areas. I believe that tiny little land right there that you see is uninhabited. So again, poses really no threat to land except to maybe some boaters that happen to be in the immediate area of this storm and of this forecast cone. Tropical Depression 16E is forecast to peak as a 65-mile-per-hour tropical storm before eventually weakening and eventually turning into a tropical depression by around 6 p.m. Thursday, as you can see in that forecast cone. And here's a look at Tropical Depression 20 here. As you can see on this forecast cone, forecast to peak as a Category 2 now hurricane here at the last few forecast points there. As you can see, as of the Saturday, September 12, 2020 information. 11 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time Advisory number 2. Center is currently located at 11.9 degrees north, 34.6 degrees west, with maximum sustained 1 minute winds estimated to be at 35 miles per hour. Move to the west northwest at 10 miles per hour, as you can see. And here's some infrared imagery of Tropical Depression 20L. As you can see right now, it's fairly disorganized at this point in time, but of course forecast to intensify as the weeks go on. Not the weeks, as the days go on here, I should say, not weeks. Apologies for that. But here's a look at the forecast discussion here really quick as well for the storm. We can see the National Hurricane Center forecast the storm to peak as a 105-mile-per-hour Category 2 hurricane in about 96 hours from this latest National Hurricane Center update here, and eventually in about 24 hours the forecast to become a named storm. And of course, if this storm does get named, it'll be given a name Teddy, which is the T name storm for this hurricane season. It'll be called Teddy, and be an interesting name to say the least here, as we get closer and closer to reaching the Greek alphabet here. This hurricane season here. And here's again, of course, a look at Tropical Depression 20 right now. And again, if it does get named, it'll be called Tropical Storm Teddy. And then a little piece of information here. Let's go ahead and look at the wide view Atlantic look right now. And just some interesting information here is that the formation date of Tropical Storm Sally is the earliest formation of the S name storm. And since they started naming these storms in the 1950s here in Atlantic here, the earliest S-named storm to form an Atlantic basin. The previous record was held by Hurricane Stan when that formed on October 2nd, 2005. And then if Teddy gets named before October 5th, which is really likely, it seems at this point, it would beat out the previous record held by Tropical Storm Tammy on October 5th, when that formed on October 5th, 2005. So two records potentially being broken here within the next coming days, yet again here, in terms of names on this hurricane season list here. Really close to reaching the Greek alphabet here. So I believe that's about it, give or take. Let's go ahead and quickly. Actually, I wanted to take a look at the Invests 91L here. Let's take a look at the service number 2. Has a 50% chance of formation throughout the next 48 hours and the next 5 days, a medium 60% chance of formation. And then an area of interest to the west of Sally has a 10% chance of formation throughout the next 48 hours, and the next 5 days, a low 20% chance of formation there. And then Eastern Pacific, nothing much other going on other than 16E. There's another area of interest there, near 0% chance for the next 48 hours and 5 days for that storm. So again, two possible record-breaking storms in their own right here. Well, of course, Tropical Storm Sally beat out the record set by Tropical Storm Stan, of course, or not Hurricane Stan, I should say, in 2005, when that formed on October 2nd, 2005. Sally, of course, just formed on September 12th, 2020 here. So if Teddy gets named before October 5th, 2005, of course, that'll beat the old record set by Tropical Storm Tammy in 2005, when that formed on October 5th, 2005. It seems really likely that Teddy will get named within the next week here or so, at least, as we head, as we pretty much are in a peak part of the hurricane season here. So I believe that's about it here. Oh, I wanted to go off the key messages here for Hurricane Paulette. Stop the video right now and read this if you want to. That's for English here, and here's Spanish. And of course, you can stop the video right now and read this if you want to. That's pretty much about it for this tropical update here. Hope everybody enjoyed. I apologize again for my absence here and these tropical updates. I'll try to do one tomorrow, but I cannot guarantee that. I'll try my best to do it though. And I hope everybody has a great day now. Gazar, stay safe, of course. Remember to also, of course, listen to your National Hurricane Center and National Weather Service for the latest information here. Of course, to get to the National Weather Service, just type up nhc.noaa.gov, and you'll know on the correct page when you see all this good information here. Same for the National Weather Service, just type up weather.gov, just type up nws.gov, just NWS, and you could get a localized forecast for where you live. Like, say you live in Louisiana, click there and get latest detailed forecast for you guys over here, and you could have a little map here. So if you live in New Orleans, you could click New Orleans and have the latest information there. I accidentally clicked on the marine part, but say you live in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, you can click on there, get 5-day graphical forecast here and 7-day text forecast below that, and also an hourly weather forecast here to plan your day out hour by hour here as this storm progresses here with time. So again, that's going to be about it for me. This has probably been one of the longest, or maybe the longest update that I've done due to all this activity currently going on here. So I apologize for that, and I apologize for not being active the past few days here. So I hope everybody again has a great day and night. Gazar, stay safe, of course. Until then, see you guys in the next video. Of course, I have the links down below if you want to look at the links that I used for this video. And that's pretty much about it. So I hope everybody has a great day and night. Gazar, stay safe, of course. Till then, see you guys in the next video. Peace.